Welcome to Indy's Real Estate Gurus. I'm Rick Ripma, your hardworking mortgage guy, and I've been in the mortgage business and real estate for over 32 years, 42 years, 43 years.
All
I
right.
have been
Well,
in it so
we can do
long.
math here. I'm sorry,
It's
people.
34 years. I've been in it so long I can't even remember how long. I actually think now it's 35 years, but we'll go with 34. I've helped over 5,200 folks finance their homes. My team and I believe in custom tailored loans, not the one size fits all approach. We believe there is a right mortgage for you, and we believe we are the team to deliver it.
And I'm Ian Arnold, part of Rick's hardworking mortgage team. I've been in the financial industry for 15 years, helping customers get better credit scores so they can get their best interest rate possible. I have a passion in helping you achieve your real estate dreams and get your wealth for generations to come.
And for the most up to date information on Indy's real estate market or mortgages, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can call 317 672 1938. 317 672 1938. I was not 100% confident with that now, was I?
That's all right. But Rick, did you hear this morning? Some guy jumping on our roof, walking around, and then we go up there and check. He wanted to come on the show.
They couldn't find us. We're hard
I
to
know.
find. It's a hard show to find.
So, what was this guy's name? Do you remember?
Evan Wagner with it's Great Tree. What is it?
Great Woods Realty.
Great Woods Realty.
Yep.
I love the name. And it took me forever to finally figure out, I think, how you got this name, how you came up with this. How did you come up with it?
So Great Woods is the managing broker is Brian Smith, and he lives on Great Woods Road,
Yeah.
Great Woods Street. The logo is 3 pine trees, and he picked that out because he saw the trees in his backyard, and that's just how he came up with the name.
Okay. I love the name, and that's what I figured because I saw that the office officially is on.
Yep.
And some companies pay tremendous amount of money to have the street named after their company. The easier and better way.
The easier way is definitely to do it the backwards way. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And just keep them from changing that name. Thanks so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate being on.
Now we love you have a very interesting story. So, but before we get into how you got into real estate, what did you do before real estate? Where did you grow up? Give us kind of your background.
Okay. So I grew up in Hendricks County, Pittsburgh. Was there for a while before I moved downtown. But basically, my first taste of sales was working at RCI, helping exchange timeshares
Okay.
up on Michigan.
Yes.
And after that, got sick of the micromanaging of the call center life. I was put in a box, and I do not do well in boxes. And so I got out of that and got into the restaurant industry for a while. I was looking to kind of supplement my income a little bit more, and had a friend that was a real estate agent that was looking for an admin.
Okay.
So I reached out. I said, "Well, can I help with some admin work?" He said, "I know you enough. You're not doing admin work. You're doing sales." So he made me an inside sales agent doing cold calls, and that's kind of how it started from there.
Not in a box anymore.
Not in a
but
box.
Still doing cold
Yeah,
calls.
exactly. So much more freedom of schedule, and it was pretty great. But
Do you remember how many calls a day you'd make
300 to 400.
per day?
Yep.
And who were you calling normally? What kind of client were you calling?
Expireds, some FSBOs, not too many FSBOs. I kind of just of the call logs that I would look at, FSBOs weren't very did not create enough results to spend time with for sale by owners. So it was Circle, which I call cold calling, and then expireds was definitely the best to call on.
And what's Circle?
Circle is like cold calling. So what was the name? The Red X was the dialer system. So it's a triple dialer. So you can call 3 lines at once, and whoever picks up is who you are able to talk to. But if someone else picks up within those 3, that's the number you call after that initial call picks up.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So geographically, you just draw a circle of where you want to be calling, and it'll pull numbers for that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So the reason I ask that is because I think many people, when they're first getting into real estate, or maybe when they're struggling also, they don't, there's things they can do to change their business, but that it takes work,
Yep,
right? There's not a lot of people who love grabbing the telephone and calling people they don't know. There are
exactly.
people, but there are many people. It's a struggle to get people to do that sometimes.
Absolutely.
But if that's what you have to do to feed your family, if that's what you have to do to make a living, then that's what you have to do.
Yep,
After a while, you get your business going so much you don't have to do that.
correct.
So you were doing that. You're I'm guessing doing very well. And then you decide, okay, now I want to be my own agent. So how was that transition like?
So it technically was not my choice to become an agent. The
Okay.
gentleman that I had started in real estate with, kind of decided I was going to switch to the agent role.
Okay.
A bit of a troubling time because he had told me he would support me because I mean it was going straight commission by this point, and I was not financially prepared to be a real estate agent, and wait 2 to 3 months sometimes for making a paycheck.
Right.
So um, he said, "Hey, as part of the team, I'm taking you out of the ISA role, and you're going to real estate school, and you will become a real estate agent." And that happened. Did pretty well, and then he fired me. And it was stressful times because I really didn't have anything to do. So in my beginning of real estate, which I got my license in March of 2020,
Okay.
which was a very interesting time to start being a real estate agent. Um, I mean, with COVID shutting many things down, it just created a lot.
Yeah.
We all know what happened in March of
Yeah.
2020 with it.
Right.
But yeah, it was not necessarily my choice to become an agent, but I just stuck through it throughout the years.
Okay. So
Yep.
he put made you an agent and then he let you go. It sounds like because of the market at that time, everybody ran scared for a little while.
Yep.
And it ended up not being as scary as everybody thought it was going to be, right? As
Correct.
far as the market, right?
Yep.
Um, so so then you left there, but you still where'd you go to become to work?
And that's when I found Great Woods Realty.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. I was helping a buddy, Pat DeBruler, kind of run part of his appliance business at the time
Okay.
to kind of help ends meet in between. And he introduced me to Brian. Then we just kicked it off from there, and I put my license in his brokerage.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then so now you're doing a great job. You're doing big volume. You've done phenomenally well, but you also have, I don't know if it's a side hustle, but it's another hustle. And what is that?
So that is basically insurance-based roof claims. So I inspect for storm damage on roofing and then represent that homeowner to the insurance company to ensure the payment from the insurance company for the new roof.
Okay. So I got to think that does a lot of things. It benefits. How does that benefit your real estate business? I got to think it really benefits your real estate business. And when I say that, it's benefiting your clients that you work with, maybe even other agents' clients if they work with you
Yep.
to do that. How does that benefit them?
So doing an initial roof inspection at the showing can keep us better prepared for what we need to know in the initial offer. I mean, in your opinion, what do you think the top 3 expensive things to replace in a home would be?
Well, roof would have to be one.
Absolutely.
HVAC would have to be another.
Yep.
And I mean, there's so many other things that could be major repairs. Windows have to be another huge one.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But man, there's so many things in a house that I sold new houses for a long time. And I mean, there's so many expensive things. What are the three?
Yep. Well, I would say one of the top would probably be the roof. So if we can situate it within a transaction that I can represent the homeowner to the insurance company to get the new roof in the transaction, the seller's happy because they don't have to make it an expense. The buyer's happy because the home has a new expense, or no, the home has that new roof, so it's another expense you won't have to worry about. And then when you get your new homeowner's insurance policy, as you're buying that property, you're going to have lower premiums because insurance companies really look at the age of the roof within the cost of the policy.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So the benefit, I just want to make sure people understand, there's a huge benefit by you having that knowledge. You go in, you see a roof, and now they can get it taken care of under insurance if there's problems.
Yep.
If the insurance company, everybody agrees, right? And saves everybody a bundle of money.
Exactly.
So other than the insurance company.
Yep. Yep.
Other than there is somebody paying.
Yep.
But that's what we have insurance for.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's why you pay for your insurance. Exactly.
So, and you help. Do you help? If there's agents out there, is there a way that you help them? I mean, so that they, for their clients.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have a client that is curious about the roof condition, if there's storm damage, I know what the insurance companies look for the approval for a new roof. It's a free inspection. I say it never hurts to try.
Okay, so
Never hurts to try.
Inspect it for them.
Absolutely.
Right. And what
Absolutely.
would be the best way if they have a roofing, or they have any questions on roofing, but even anybody has any questions on real estate, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
By phone,
Okay.
call or text. If I'm driving, it's always better for a call. But my phone number is 317-260-1051. Always the best, easiest way to reach me.
What's that number again?
317-260-1051.
Okay. And just to be clear, so people understand on the roof, if I'm a real estate agent and I think there could be an issue with my roof, calling you to have you come look at the roof for me is very beneficial. And I guess as an agent, I might be a little leery. So I'm guessing you would assure them that they won't even know you're in real estate, correct? At that point, you have your roof hat on.
Correct. So if I have my real estate hat on, I have my real estate hat on. If I have my roofing hat on, I've got my roofing hat on.
Okay.
If I'm meeting with someone else's client, that's their client. That's
Right.
not my real estate client. I'm here for the roof.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. I think that's clear, and I think that helps people understand. So you get going. You had a tough go to get
It was a rough start. Yeah.
So is that how you got into roofing, or were you already into roofing?
Because that's kind of how I found roofing as well. Because as I was trying to, through COVID, start everything real estate, I said I need something else because it was a struggle. So, and then I ended up finding a buddy told me about what he was doing, and I met with the roofing company, sat down with them. I said, this could be great. It's so mutually beneficial,
Right.
that, if there's a roofing client I have that needs a real estate agent, I can help, and vice versa. So they're both 1099, so I control my time. I can do half the day real estate, I can do half the day roofing, and it just works out perfectly.
Yeah. That's
All right. So before, I know, Rick, we got to do our ad so we don't get fired by our ad agent.
There you go.
So, but before that, so why do you think it's beneficial for a customer? So say you have your realtor hat on. Why is it beneficial that you might know about roofs when you're trying to help somebody sell their home for the customer's sake?
So for the customer's sake,
Yeah.
we need to know what we need to be prepared for when we go to market. If there's issues with the roof, or and not even just the roof, but other things, inspections before you go to sell on market is also a big thing to help keep us prepared to know how we need to navigate advertising, what we need to pay for and repair before we go to market. Just overlook a bunch of headaches. Once that initial inspection comes back, when you're under contract, it's a lot less stressful for the client. But staying ahead of knowing what to expect, I think, is the biggest thing.
Is there a money aspect to it too, possibly? So let's say they hire you and they're like, could they get more money for replacing their roof? Possibly. Not every case is going to be the same. Just saying.
Technically, I don't think a new roof inherently raises the value of the home. It increases the desirability, but from an appraiser's eye, I don't think it increases the value of the home. Just like because I even had a friend that replaced their whole HVAC system, and he got his home appraised because he wanted to refinance, and the appraiser said, "That doesn't add any value. It doesn't matter if it's new, it needs to be in working order." So if you have a 20-year furnace or a 2-year furnace, they're gonna look at it the same.
Yeah. And the reason is just like you said, it has to, everybody expects an HVAC system, right? A heating and
Exactly.
cooling system.
Yep.
Everybody expects a roof that isn't leaking,
Yep.
right? That's a good solid roof. So that's an expectation. Now, but I 100% agree with you. It's the desirability issue, the desirability of seeing a house. If there's two houses for sale and they're both the same price, and this one has a brand new roof, I mean, if I like them the same, I'm going to go with the brand new roof,
Yep.
right? I mean, that's a big plus. Again, if somebody needed to get a hold of you for real estate or roof, what's the best way?
Call or text, always, 317-260-1051. Best way to get a hold of me.
Perfect. And to get a hold of Ian or I, it's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can call 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. And thanks for listening to Indy's Real Estate Gurus. The gurus we interview share valuable insights. They reveal their strengths, personalities, and how they'll work for you. While we hardworking mortgage guys secure your best mortgage, real estate gurus work hard too. They avoid problems the amateurs don't see, like roofs. They listen and they find unrealized opportunities. If you're buying or selling a home, a real estate guru is a valuable asset. If you're even thinking of buying or selling a home, keep listening and definitely call one of Indy's real estate gurus.
All right, Evan. So before we get back into the what all jobs you have, so let's make a little side step. Let's get to know you a little bit more.
Mhm.
So let's say I got to take away your phone and you cannot work for 24 hours. I don't care about real estate, roofing. You got to be free for fun. What are you doing for fun?
I like Brown County State Park. I mean, that's always an easy go-to. Taking a hike around Ogle Lake is probably one of the most stress-free, relieving. I mean, just being out in the sun, hiking around, one of my favorites. The gym. The gym's also almost a daily ritual of peace. To start the day where I mean it's got a lot of benefits to it, just mentally, of starting the day, getting that blood pumping, and just getting that first accomplishment for the day. That's another big one. Just anything with the people I care about. I mean, we could just hang around and watch a show, or sit out by a fire. Spending time with people that I care about is another big one. Absolutely.
That's awesome. So yeah, when you're mentioning about working out before work, there was actually been studies done that people who work out before are actually more productive throughout the day. And people were like, "No, because you're wore out." No, because
You're
you're
activated.
active.
Yep.
And once your body gets used to it, it becomes second nature. And you might have this. I worked 2 jobs for a little while and everything, but when you go from one job to the other job, you don't feel tired because it's a whole different job.
Exactly.
And so it's a total different. You get upbeat, you're up, but your blood is flowing, especially.
Yep. So, but another thing with that, I'm doing this carnivore diet right now. I've been on that for about 7 weeks. That is something that also helps motivation, mental clarity. And there's a lot of, I mean, I think it's somewhat controversial because people are like, well, the cholesterol, sodium, all this. And I go, my energy levels are through the roof,
Mhm.
and I eat ribeyes for breakfast, and I take the whites out of eggs and eat the yolks with some sausage. Put half a stick of butter in my morning coffee. I mean, it's something that, historically people go, "What?" But I feel amazing. Weight's going down, muscles increasing, and it's something I definitely recommend to look into. It's need to do some research before, because I get a lot of eyes that go, "You eat no fiber, you don't do any of this." It's no, it's fat and protein, and I feel better than I felt probably in early 20s.
Yeah, it's interesting. I first heard about that probably about 6 months ago. Joe Rogan was talking about it
Okay.
on his,
Yep.
and I was like, "But so, are you planning on keeping that going, or do you plan on stopping after a certain point in time, introducing the other foods, and then possibly going back?"
Um, I think I'm gonna stick with it just
Okay.
because of how great I feel. The biggest downfall I think of that diet is the social aspect where, going out to eat, it's a lot more restrictive. You can't control as much in a restaurant what you can make in your kitchen. Um, so, if you're at the table and they bring the bread, kind of go, that looks good. But I don't even crave the carbs. I don't even want the carbs now. So it's bizarre because this is the first time I think in my life I've actually done a diet and stuck with a diet. So it's very rewarding and just surprising to me because I mean I used to be a hungry guy like all the time, and now I eat breakfast and sometimes I forget to eat dinner, kind of thing. So yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but they say like with carbs and stuff, after 14 days, your body stops craving it. And so, I mean, now that you no longer crave it, it's not as hard. But at
yep,
least, like, I have a cousin that he doesn't eat anything with like breads and a lot of carbs and stuff. So he's limited on a lot of more stuff.
yeah,
It's not hard to go to a place. Hey, I need a chicken or I need a steak.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's definitely worth it. Anyone listening, I definitely recommend looking into it because it helps me work more.
Yeah, it's amazing to me because I've gone the exact opposite way of you. Yeah, I don't eat meat,
Okay.
but I don't eat meat because it was inflaming my knee, and I have a knee
Mm,
damage.
yeah.
Um, and I mean I was at the point where I could barely walk,
Mm,
and so by not eating meat now I can walk, and I work out now, and I mean there's a lot of things that are beneficial. But the weird thing is what you were talking about. For me, I mean I don't miss meat. I
mm,
don't have that crave. When you don't eat, it must be when we don't eat something, it just goes away.
yeah.
Because I haven't done this for 4 years, and it just goes away, and I've lost weight and everything, and it's like I think years ago I did a diet called what was it, Fit for Life or something like that,
Hmm.
and that's and they got rid of meat at the, and that diet. But I think it's a matter of if you get rid of one of the two because of how your body works, it must work. I don't know. I'm not a person anybody should listen to on how to be healthy. Okay, because the one
Well,
thing I want are
disclaimer,
those sweets.
me neither, but it's working for me. Okay. It's working for me.
Because I don't really know what's right. So, what would you say your superpower or superpowers are?
Silence.
Probably master of calm. That'd probably be the biggest, like, especially with how chaotic real estate and roofing and just any sales can be, is just being able to be calm through a situation because there can be things that explode in a real estate transaction that
Right.
you need to be in control of yourself for your client to set the precedent to uh, show example that hey, we can still work this out. This seems like a total deal killer, but we're still going to make it happen. Okay, just be calm, know how to calm people. In my experience, that's been very beneficial in transactions. Absolutely.
There's so much stress.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah,
not to mention is in both your fields, you have to work with other parties. So they might give you bad news. All right, now you got to shift through it and find out, all right, how do I still get this through? Whether it's through the roofing and you had to go through the insurance companies and customers and pay and all that. I mean, to now a realtor to, all right, messing with the inspection or the appraisal or got to get the financing. The customer did something. I mean, there's so many other things in there that keeping calm is a huge thing.
yep. And then I'd probably also say problem solving. That's another massive thing that I think is very important to both industries that I'm in, is that everything's not going to be perfect. You can't expect that. You can't, think that's how everything will go. You have to know that things are going to go wrong, but it's okay because I'm going to know how to solve them. So I'd say calm and problem solving are the superpowers.
Yeah, well, when problems come up, the biggest thing, if you can give a solution or several solutions, it's really not too much of a problem. That's the way that's how I like to do it,
Okay.
exactly like you. So if you think you're going to do this, but you can't do that, right? Let's say you think, okay, we got an inspection back. They come back and they say, well, you need a new roof. Well, you have and I just pick roofs because I know you know them so well, but you're going to have solutions for that. You're going to give them options, right? On what you have to do. If that's your seller, you're going to say, okay, here's our options.
Yep.
And that's so much easier than freaking out and taking these people who are already in high anxiety and making it worse.
Yep.
So those things in my mind, they run side by side and are extremely important for a real estate agent.
Yep.
I don't know for a roofer, but I'd guess it is. But for what you do, you're delivering bad news and good news kind of at the same time. Hey, you have a bad roof, but here's what we can do to solve it.
Exactly.
So you're not. It's not like I don't mind if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, listen, you need a new roof, and here's how we're going to help you get a new roof, and all you're going to have to pay is your deductible." And that's not all bad.
Exactly.
That's a cheap new roof.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
not
got
a
one
bad
not too
deal.
long ago, and it was not.
They are,
insurance.
they are not cheap anymore. They've never been cheap, but prices, just like everything, keep going up, and roofing materials definitely keep increasing.
For some reason, where my house is, the storms come through and they split and they go around my house, and then they must come back together because there'll be hail damage everywhere near me. And I mean, I even had them. You know about this better than I. Well, yeah, it was probably the storm on June 14th, and it came through at 9:03 p.m. through here. It's like, except for in my house.
Exactly. You had a force field over your home that night. Yep.
Yeah. My parents must have too, because my parents live in a community where the next houses were 5 feet away. The house on either side of them had to have new roofs. We had theirs inspected 3 times, and it didn't need a new roof.
Sometimes it depends on the insurance company and who the insurance company, what adjuster they send out. So that's a struggle of the roofing industry, absolutely, because we can see clear apparent damage. The adjuster just looks it over and goes, I don't see it. So that's part of the struggle of that industry is convincing the adjuster.
That's when you have to go to work.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. That's the fun part.
Yeah. So if he doesn't agree, you're like, yeah, you see that ground on there? You can meet it really fast. Right?
Exactly. You
agree now? So do you have a roofing team, I assume? I assume it's just not you out there slinging shingles.
I don't install the roofs.
He's an inspector.
Yeah.
Props to the guys who do, because I see them walk like a 12-12 pitch is basically a 45-degree angle. These guys are up here in sneakers, carrying shingles on their back, and I know I couldn't do it. So congrats to them.
I couldn't do it.
But the what did you say again?
Oh, did you have like a team or
so team, I'm basically project manager of this company, looking to build a sales team underneath me for this as well. But right now it is we've got 3 employees right now. The owner, we're basically all within the sales field of it, but constantly growing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It keeps you busy, I'm sure, because is busy.
Mm-hmm.
But it also gives you, I know a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't do 2 things, but I think a lot of ways it helps. And you probably, there are people you get as clients that don't already have a real estate agent. And then your real estate must give you client, because you probably walk in. I imagine there's lots of people who don't know they have roof damage.
Correct.
And so you can help a lot of people, and just by looking at their house, right? So that's a big deal. So what would you say your favorite part of the job is as a real estate agent?
the freedom of it to schedule my day how I think it should be done. But also on the flip side of that coin, um, there is a lack of freedom because you have to work around other people's schedule. So yes, you can have a certain level of freedom, but you do also have to be able to sacrifice, this person's only available to go see homes from 6 to 9 p.m. So that's when they're working, or that's when you're working for their schedule.
Right.
But the freedom by far, because I don't do well micromanaged. Leave me alone, let me do my work, and I'm going to produce it because I push myself.
Right.
So freedom by far is
Yeah.
my most favorite thing of
That
it.
seems an important piece to you.
Oh, very much.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you and be your boss, and
well, my clients are my bosses, and I'll let them, tell me what I need to do, because hey, I am working for you. You employ me
right.
to get you what you need.
Yeah. I knew that. I thought it was funny. So, how would they get a hold of you if they're looking for any real estate, or maybe they have roofing questions or issues?
Believe it or not, it's by cell phone. My cell phone number is 317-260-1051.
317-260-1051. Even I remember.
Yep.
Did you see that? Even I didn't.
I know.
I don't even have it written down.
There we go.
You
I
have
can't remember
his
my own phone number.
Yeah, I know.
To get a hold of Ian or I, you can call 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. That does not take text. That is strictly a phone. Or you can go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. And from there, you can get our text numbers. Again, hardworkingmortgageguys.com.
I'm proud that you didn't recite his number instead of
Well, I've already forgotten it now. Okay, I remembered for 3 seconds.
Ooh, there
That's
you
all
go.
I need.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the goldfish
Exactly.
memory.
Now go look it up.
All right, so now we'll get into the question of the week. And the question of the week is sponsored by, Rick and I, the hardworking mortgage guys, where we believe in helping and supporting you and your realtor by sending constant updates through the loan process. Nobody likes to be left in the dark, so we don't allow it. We like to keep the light on.
What happened to the black hole?
Well, today we're going with the darkness.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
No. Dark,
Whoa.
dark and a black hole are not the same.
Pretty darn close. They're still in the dark and you cannot see. What now?
He's not educated. Very
Oh,
well.
I'm educated.
Black holes, apparently.
Yeah, they suck the light in. There's a little bit of a difference. All right, but get out the astrology part. Oh, what was your first car? Come on, it's not that hard of a question.
Oldsmobile Intrigue.
Oh, really? That wasn't a bad car.
There was at one point the sway bar went out of the car, and what was it? There was one day after school, I was getting off a street, and or no, I think it was 465. I was getting off 465, and the car started wobbling as I was turning, and so we nicknamed it the Death Trap because I thought I was going to lose it right there on that turn. Oh yeah. Old kind of gold color. Yeah,
that's a pretty one.
Yeah. I think it was an 02, maybe somewhere around there.
I like those body styles.
I did too. It was nice. The spoiler definitely just added about 50 horsepower to it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like it was going fast still, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when your sway bar goes out, your car is hard to control, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you named it the Death Trap. So did you tell your parents you called your car the Death Trap?
Yeah, they weren't super fond of the name.
No. How long did it take them to fix it when you called it the Death Trap? I see, because
less than a week.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Once you know it's a death trap, you're gonna for your kid, you're gonna fix it.
Mm-hmm.
You may personally just figure out driving it for a while.
Yeah.
For your kid.
Well, that depends on the parent and the kid.
Ian probably.
My parents will probably let me like, you know what? Keep on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not our problem. So you do you have? It sounds like you have very fond memories of that car.
Yeah, decently. Not too many. Not too many
Is
great
there a
ones.
car that you've had that you really, really liked that was like, oh man, I wish I had that car back?
I mean, my Honda Accord I have right now, I like that. I've got a Ford F-150 too, but there's just something about well, I've got subwoofers in the Honda, so
Okay.
I've got a guilty pleasure for that. So I think I'll keep that car around for a while.
That's why our building was shaking
Yeah.
when you pulled in.
Exactly right. Yeah. And the benefit of that car, as Ian always tells us, is that you'll have that car for 50 years. So you don't have to worry about
Yeah,
that. Just
exactly.
keep
Yep.
those subwoofers working and you're in great
Yeah,
shape. That's all you
exactly.
got to worry
Well, I
about.
mean, Hondas are reliable. Really, the
Yep.
only thing I think you only have to worry about is the timing belt mainly for those. After that, just take decent checkups on the
Yeah.
vehicle. Those Hondas will last for a while.
Oh.
You're right. Do not let the timing belt go,
Yeah.
because that'll be the end of the motor.
Yep. Yep.
Well, that's the reason why most of them have all switched to chains. So
Yeah. That is not a good thing to have happen. So what would you say common misconceptions of what a real estate agent does are?
I've heard, what was the term? I heard once someone said, and it wasn't directed, I think it was on Instagram, they said glorified door opener. And
Okay.
I
Yeah,
said,
I've seen that
I
on
said,
Instagram or something.
said, well, there's much you don't know about this industry. Number one, coordinating each deal. And if you've got 5 deals going at one time, you have to be very, very, very organized. You have to have great organizational skills. You need to find a program that you can keep everything in track with. And that is something even clients don't see, because they don't see you when you're at the office or you're at home, and you're making sure you've got the title companies, you just all the information together, so that way if your client has a question of what's this, or where's this go, you know exactly where it's going. One of my favorite ways to help with that is a pending checklist that I have for clients. So once a home goes under contract, I have this preset template that I put in all the dates that we need the inspection completed by, where to send the earnest money, how to title the earnest money check, just step by step from pen to close. Any question you have, you can call me whenever you need to. But before you call me, just look over this checklist because it probably answers your question. And if you know step by step what the closing process is, you're going to feel more comfortable with the transaction.
Right. Yeah, because that's a stressful time.
Oh yeah.
One of the things you said, this it's a I just don't like they're glorified door openers. Anybody who says that doesn't understand at all what they either had a really, really, really bad agent.
Yeah.
I mean, really bad agent.
Yep.
Or they just don't know at all, because there is so much that an agent does that I don't know. They just do so much to help you out. I would relate it to, like, you watch a Olympic ice skating, and you go, well, that looks easy, and then you go get on skates and you can't stand up.
Yep.
Well, I think it's actually a compliment in some ways. If somebody thinks that it's so easy that it isn't worth what that means that you've hidden all the things that happen in the background they don't know about. All they know is the happy-go-lucky things.
Mm-hmm.
And additionally, not every sale and not every buyer or seller is happy. They aren't necessarily wanting to sell their house. There's lots of situations where they have to buy a house and they don't want to, or sell a house and they don't want to, correct?
Correct.
And you have to deal with those emotions of all these different buyers. Now, that's not hard, is it?
No, well, I mean, there's I feel like in the fine print of when I got my real estate license, it said, "Oh, by the way, you're kind of a therapist now in a lot of ways for people," because I mean, it's probably one of the most stressful things you'll go through, is buying a home or moving. I think divorce. There were, I can't remember, but yeah, there was an article I read of the most stressful things to do in life, and buying a home, selling a home was one of them. So yeah, you do kind of have to be a therapist
Yeah.
in some ways, because you number one, for me, I'm very personal. I get close with people, and for it being something so stressful, just walls come down with talking with people outside of other industries. So you need to be prepared to hold some mental capacity, hold some space for other people, just listen. That's a big thing. Just know how to listen. I think there's a difference between actively listening someone and someone waiting to speak their turn.
Huge difference.
Huge difference. So learn to listen.
It's not easy.
No.
It's a kind of a lost art. I think it sets people apart if they really are good listeners.
Huh?
It sets them apart.
Yeah.
Case in point. Okay. Case in point.
Hey, I was active listening.
Yeah, exactly. There it is. There it is. Yeah.
I'm not sure you were.
So I do like to say, now, if a customer that you just either sold their home or bought the home, you can look at it this way. If they said, man, you're just a glorified door opener, guess what?
I just made it look super easy.
That's my point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's going to hurt, but it's
Yeah,
one of
exactly.
those things.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, you don't realize everything I just did to make it feel like you had nothing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. If I was not here with this transaction, if you had to try to figure it out, you'd be climbing up the walls.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So let's do this. What do you think one of your most memorable deals, whether it's roofing or real estate, was?
My first transaction ended in a mutual release. And what happened was, it was an investment property and it was from a cold call. They were buying it on 34th and Forest Manor. So east side, kind of a rougher spot, but beautiful, like 1920s home, original windows, hardwood. I mean, it was beautiful. It was, I wouldn't even say it was in rough condition, but there were some things, certain spots in the floor or doors or walls just needed some love, and it'd be immaculate. We go through the whole transaction. Everything's great. We go for the final walkthrough. We're 2 hours from closing. We pull up and I see a window is broken. And I said, okay, that's interesting. I think it was storming within the last few days or so. Something probably fell through the window, busted some glass. Cool, that's an easy fix. We're good. Until we start looking for the AC units and the furnaces in the home. It had got broken into, and they had taken the copper wiring, the AC units, one of the furnaces, because it had 2 AC units and 2 furnaces, which I thought was odd, but they got it all out. And one of the furnaces was on the 2nd level. So very interesting to say, well, let's work this out. Let's try this out. So I called the listing agent and I said, we've got an issue. We need to kind of go back into negotiations. The buyers ended up getting cold feet because what they say, it was bad juju. And so deal ended up falling apart, and found them another property, but definitely something I'll never forget, especially being my first transaction. Great learning experience by far. Yeah.
Not the learning experience you want.
Not the experience you want. But hey, real estate, anything can happen. You have to be prepared, I think, at any given time, just to know how to work things out, stay calm, and find a solution. Sometimes solutions don't happen, but that's okay.
Yeah, it all worked out though.
Yeah, exactly,
right?
It worked out in the end. Just wish that would happen maybe week 1 of the transaction. Yeah.
Or not at all.
Or not at all. Like if it would have happened maybe earlier, but hey, that's part of the risk of real estate.
Yes. You got to think, as a seller, that would be really devastating, because you think you're closing, you don't close. But not only that, now you got to fix the house.
Yep.
And now the house is still sitting there.
And now you
empty.
have to change the price. Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? Somebody else is going to walk in there and steal everything, or the same people might come back and steal everything. So I don't know. I know they make a little money, but the damage they cause,
Exactly.
it's
Just the stress of going through it.
yeah, it's a
I mean,
shame.
real estate transactions can be stressful enough. You had
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. I mean, and I felt for the listing agent too, because she was like, I don't know how to tell him. I was like, yeah, I don't either. So
What are you talking about? They didn't teach you that in real estate
yeah,
school?
exactly. Yeah.
I know how to tell them. You call them and tell them, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's no fun, but you do it.
Yep.
So let's switch off. Maybe something a little happier. I know you're really into social media.
Mhm.
So how do you see the benefit? What do you see as a benefit of social media, and how do you work your social media?
So I just like advertising things that I do. Just quick little walkthroughs of homes that I'm showing. Any working with buyers is really fun because I love, getting interactive with buyers on social media as well. So maybe I have a pan video of the kitchen, and I tell one of my buyers, hey, say do something fun, let's have fun with it. And it just helps alleviate, any of the stress that the buyer might feel throughout, looking for a home, because gosh, we've been looking for this long and haven't found anything. It's just a fun way to number advertise what I'm doing, and kind of get a little bit closer with that client. But yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So if somebody's wanting to get a hold of you, how would they reach you?
So I've got a cell phone, and its phone number is 317-260-1051. Call or text is best. Again, 317-260-1051.
And I hear your cell phone is available 24/7.
Yes, it is.
Cell phone.
Yeah, the cell
That's what
phone
I
is.
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your
some
email
nights
on the other side is a little iffy.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So definitely cell phone, text, call. I mean, whatever you want.
Perfect. And to get a hold of Ian or I, it's 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. Or you can go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. And follow us for more Indy's Real Estate Gurus.
All right. Hey, Evan, we'd like to thank you for your time. It was a pleasure having you on the show
Yeah.
today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's
You're welcome.
it's a pleasure to be here.
Great.
Awesome. And reminder, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, refinance, contact Rick or I. We'd be more happy to help you.
Branch NMLS number 33041. Rick Ripma's NMLS number 6645890. Ian Arnold's NMLS number is 1995469. Equal housing opportunity. Some restrictions apply.